Welcome to Witches of Three.
Speak free. Speak free.
Talking about witches. Talking about
Wicca, Wicca.
So tonight we're probably going to ruffle some feathers.
Oh.
yeah.
Yes.
Which is what we do. That's why we're here. We are here to shake shit up, that's just been our moniker forever. Rogue as fuck is our hashtag. If you want to hashtag us. But we're going to talk today about the difference between Wicca and the craft, basically. There's a lot of controversy that goes around about what we're practicing and how we practice in comparison to Wicca. So, Michelle, do you want to tell us a little bit about the origins of Wicca?
It's actually a new religion.
Thank you.
Religion, keyword.
Yeah.
Religion.
It didn't really exist until like the New Age wave of like the 60s and the 70s. No one really knows what the indigenous cultures of where most of us come from, which is Europe and that area, what they really were doing, because they were doing it so long ago and it was all not written down. So these people just came up with their own interpretation of what was there and started this religion. Wicca is not deity worship. It's not the only way to worship, and it's not the only way to approach being a witch.
I would say it's like, I don't even feel like it's being a witch. For me, being a witch is about being free to pull and use whatever energy and skill set that you have personally. And there's lots of different titles. You know, there's the Green Witch, the Moon Witch, the Eclectic Witch, and all that. And all those are beautiful, fine, and good. And I'm sure you've seen all the memes and you've checked I'm this box or I'm this box. And that's a good way to get started. Mm-hmm. But as you move through the ages, as we have, obviously, you realize that we're going to pull from all of those things. And what Wicca does is sets up a structure. It has commandments. It has the Wiccan Read.
The Wiccan Read is...
It's the 10 Commandments.
Times 5.
Times 5 with more to it even.
More rules.
Now, just FYI, we're not... If you want to be Wiccan, that is perfectly fine.
Go for it.
It's just... There is... really confusion. People think that if you are a witch that you do Wiccan.
Yeah.
And that is not, that would be like saying a Christian is a Catholic.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. So that's what we're going to talk about. And honestly, we all kind of have some experience with Wicca that may not be the best. So if you hear a little bit, it's just from personal experience. If it's your path, we want everyone to find their own path. That's the thing.
And Wicca is another path, but there are like so many other paths.
Just know
that
it was started.
It's just one.
Just know that Wicca was started by a man.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. It is male.
It is
male driven.
Yes.
They do talk about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, but it is patriarchal.
They
that
define
is
it
the
by
core
the
of it.
patriarchy.
It is patriarchal. Yeah. There is a ladder. There is
the fact that they limit, that whole that there's one high priestess.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel that was a trap that we fell in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We know that we're all high priestess. We're all goddess. We have whatever energy we choose to imbue.
Yeah.
And we just don't feel like we need to follow any particular structure to find magic.
No.
And we all follow different paths. We've all developed and grown our paths over time. I would say that my first introduction to witchcraft was Wiccan. There was a store called
Most people are.
That's the gateway.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
gateway.
the gateway
What's
drug.
that book? What's that one book?
Scott Cunningham or Ray Buckland, either one.
Scott Cunningham.
It's Scott Cunningham.
Yeah.
I sold more
Every
copies of that book.
14-year-old had that book.
Here you go. Here you go.
It just came in the
I
mail.
was a 14-year-old that bought that from Michelle.
Yeah,
which is
the introduction.
The ironic.
It's easy.
The irony behind that is just so much. There's so many. We have so many pings. Like it's insane. But what we want to tell you is that we really encourage women to develop their own path. And for me personally, that really starts with knowing your ancestry, and knowing where you come from or what you connect with. there's going to be one or the other. You're either going to know that you are Irish in descent and your, Celtic stuff is definitely going to resonate with you. Maybe you don't know your ancestry, which a lot of us don't. I'm on that path as we speak. A lot of us don't know. But getting in touch with your roots, I think, is the easiest way.
Best way to start.
We talk a lot about the chakras, and you can't do anything until your root chakra is in place, and that is about knowing who you are.
Yeah.
And we feel like you find your magic through figuring out who you are.
Yeah.
And that can come in multitudes of ways.
Yeah. Some good, some bad.
Right.
And I mean, witchcraft paths are really about transmuting pain and like transmuting your trauma and everything and self-healing. That's what a witch is, a self-healer.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how healing can be done in a box.
Nope.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense to me, because you are going to resonate, with different things. Like Shanna said, we're all very close, but different things. And we have a lot of similarities. There's a lot of root, but there are different things that really connect with us that have helped us on our own healing path. And we also there's also like a lot of people, there's a lot of religious trauma. I have some myself. And for a lot of people, and that's why Empowering Goddesses became so big, was Wicca kind of mimicked that. And then
became a haven for recovering Christians
and Wiccans. Like we did. It was, a lot of people saying, I know that this is my path, but that's not my path.
Right.
And us saying, whatever's your path,
Right.
like whatever empowers you and heals you, we want you to do.
And we want to learn it from you. So one of the biggest things that we've learned through growing our spiritual paths together is that we learn from each other. The circle that we built, I learn something every time I have a conversation or interaction with someone. I learn something about their path, and I may adopt it, or I may take kernels of that. And I think that the real witchcraft is the sharing of information.
Yes.
And so we're
no
often,
gatekeeping.
right? Yeah, we're often, this is probably the biggest thing that
they hate us, to be honest.
But you know what? They don't really come at us either.
They don't, but they hate us.
But they don't really like what we're doing, because we really feel like the sharing of knowledge empowers the collective, and that the collective change happens when everyone's empowered.
Just feeling the power in my chest.
and the titties.
So, we just want to empower you to find your own path.
Yes.
To find what resonates with you. Do you like candles? Do you like crystals? Do you like fire? It's
plants,
really plants,
stars,
animals, the stars, walking. There's magic in everything.
Magic in the mundane is the most.
I mean, somebody said it the other day. Somebody was saying about finding your intention and everything, and it's as simple as how you stir your coffee.
Yes.
I used to have, and I'm terrible at it now. Busy world, crazy COVID times, but I'm neglecting my practice. But I used to have practice every morning.
Yeah.
I would get up, make my coffee, light my herb, whatever I was going to burn for that day, get my jewelry out, cleanse and charge my jewelry, and then say my little mantra, maybe make a crystal grid. But those little things, everything that I did, those patterns helped me build my energy and raise my vibration. Yeah. I created my own rituals. Yeah. I am very solitary. I do like group work. But I'm solitary. My stuff was what I do is for me personally. It's not for anyone else. My magical practice as a practitioner is totally different than what I do personally. So, there's so many levels to it. To say that it fits in one box, I couldn't ever do that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the fact that I grew up with no indoctrination.
I never fit in no box. Yeah. Nope, it didn't work. So there's nothing wrong with crafting your own tradition.
That's why it's called the craft.
Yeah, you pull from everywhere. You pull from your ancestry. You pull from whatever system that you're interested in, whether it be tarot, astrology, Reiki, chakras. You just start melding all of this information into what it represents for you.
Right. Yes.
And because it's your journey, it's your path to get these obstacles out of your way. So you figure out what works for you. What works for some people does not work.
And
for
I
others.
think it also has to do with like the group that you're in. So I think some Wiccan circles are probably beautiful and very, very well ran.
Yeah, of course they all vary.
But there are.
I don't know any.
But
I didn't mean that bad. I just don't.
but I'm saying, like, they're definitely,
honest.
they can be, there's levels to it. You may be in a beautiful coven right now and decide later on that you want to be solitary and practice Eastern philosophy and mix that with Celtic paths. Whatever you're doing, there's no wrong way. And I think there's so much going out there right now. There's so much, TikTok is a huge thing. Kyla and I are both present there. And there's, the whole witch talk and baby witch movement. And there's so much misinformation. While the internet is vast, and I believe it's a useful tool, we didn't have that tool when I was discovering all this. We had bookstores, or the crazy witch lady at the corner, or whatever that you talk to.
Crazy people you
do.
do.
Yeah. So there's so much information. Like anybody, Joe Schmo on the corner can start a witch blog and be giving information and telling you that what you're doing is wrong or what you're doing is right or whatever, or manipulating you. There's just so much misinformation. Our biggest bit of advice that we give someone is to find one credible source or two credible sources that you like, that you resonate with, and follow them, because it gets so muddled out there.
Yeah.
Also, you feel free to call us and ask us because Amazon is really tricky right now. What they've done to the witch community, like they have hired like a couple of just, I think, ghostwriters or whatever, and they have like these certain names. No, it's like this huge thing.
Oh, no.
And
really?
like they like and they like Amazon is basically
the witch titles.
Well, no, they're making their own witch books. They're like have a fake author, like Silver Boobin or whatever, and they're like, people have been researching and looking it up. So
oh my god,
and honestly, I'm gonna say something horrible, but I kind of feel like that's what Wicca is someone's that is just said this is how it goes.
Regurgitating information.
Someone maybe, I'm not saying he's not vetted or whatever, but just someone that's like, oh, this is how it is, and everyone just saying, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually what happens.
And there's a lot of the aesthetic that's appealing.
Talk about the aesthetic.
I mean, if you're in the mall now, or like I was at Hot Topic with my children the other day, and there's like a whole witch section of jewelry and things like that.
Sephora put out like a witch box.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy sage at Walmart. Sage is a whole nother episode coming soon. But there's it's just, there's an aesthetic out there. It's being mass marketed,
which has been going on for a long time. And I'm going to say something that'll probably get me in trouble too, unless we edit it out. Stevie Nicks pretended to be a witch. She never really was a witch. So, there you go. You guys can feel free to edit that out if you want to, but it was popular.
It's from that meme this morning. Just because you listen to Stevie and snort cocaine doesn't make you a dark witch.
No, it does not. No, she figured out that was really marketable. So whatever, Stevie.
I mean, again, all things have been prepackaged and homogenized for us. Yes. You can still dance to Stevie and feel witchy as fuck. I'm with you on
turns
it.
You on.
I'm with you.
But this is why our thing and what we teach is your gut, your intuition. Yeah. What is going right for you?
Don't listen to somebody else.
Yeah.
They ain't going to be able to tell you how to do you.
Now, people can teach you certain aspects of the craft or certain things, but no one can teach you your craft.
Your craft, exactly.
And no one should have a hand in it. And that was...
it's a smorgasbord.
In the one Wiccan group I was kind of in, you couldn't do any solitary magic. You had to do it all. There was no, and I was like immediately like,
and it had to be done a certain way.
No.
I sat on her shit. I remember the first time. I walked around the circle wrong. I did way too much wine.
Oh,
and
yes.
then I still fucking implements.
Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about that.
What am I sitting on? And she come over there and she was like,
so again, we've had personal experience.
Yes. We've been invited to a Wiccan circle,
it was,
it's like a circus.
It was a beautiful ceremony. It was petrifying. I will never again let somebody hold a sword behind my back. Listen, I peed just a little.
Michelle was like, I'm not walking under the swords.
Because we've been working in the metaphysical community for a long time, we've been invited to a lot of things, and I have hard passed on being invited to some things as well. So we're not unopen to exploring this kind of ritual stuff, but we're also
we just want you to be informed.
Well done.
Yeah. We just want everyone to be informed. Wiccan is not the only path at all.
We do our own rituals when we get together. We do our own rituals.
If you read it and it does not resonate, that does not mean you are not a witch, because we all read it and it didn't resonate with us.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot more to it than what they say.
I just think that all women are witches. We all have the ability to create life in one way or the other.
We're magic. We're manifestors.
We're just magic. And so, if you don't find a way to harness that in one way or the other, and like I said, there are Christian witches, there are Buddhist witches,
there are
all kinds of witches. So
we welcome them here.
Yeah, and we have a plethora of them at your disposal. If there's there's a path that you resonate with, we do have the ability to hook you up with someone that maybe felt following more your path. We have mentors available, lots of different kinds of paths available amongst our group, just our core circle.
This is a good time to segue into what we do.
Yeah,
you talk about what you do. With all your shit that you're showing people.
It's a good segue. She's an Aries.
Yeah.
And I have a background in directing theater. So I'm going to say, Shanna, let's talk about some shit.
So I say that I am a root worker. I do follow some of the Celtic, some of the pagan, a lot of Eastern philosophy really is where I get like the core of my stuff from. But I'm a root worker in general. I do work with ancestral guides. I help other people find their ancestral guides. So my biggest product that I sell is my Ancestral Gateway candle, and this candle just basically invites the ancestors to come and commune with you. The other part of my practice that's probably the biggest part of my practice is crystals. I'm kind of the Tulsa crystal lady. I sold minerals for over 10 years. I know them backwards and forwards, like I don't know how I know all the things I know. But they are probably a part of every piece of magic that I do, whether that's the jewelry that I wear, how I decorate my home, how my car and my purse are filled with them. So for me, that's like the best way to connect with the earth, because all of these magical, beautiful crystals were made within the earth. And so I know that there's power in that energy. So I'm saying I'm a root worker in a lot of different ways, because I literally do work with roots. Another great product I make is my Master Root Oil. So I do work with roots and crystals and ancestral magic. So that is really my path. And I do follow the phases of the moon pretty religiously.
Yep, I too follow the moon. Kyla actually got me turned on to the book that we use and that we've been using for like 2 years, almost 3 years now.
Thanks, about 3 years.
Which we'll talk about that at like another episode. We're like really getting down on this moon.
When we talk
stuff.
About the houses and stuff,
Yeah. So I used that a lot, but I've also always used ancestor magic because I have like deep roots here in Oklahoma. And I, follow the Celtic path as well as some Native American influence, because you cannot be from here as long as my people have been here not to be influenced by Native American culture. So I don't appropriate it, which we'll talk about that at another time. But all of my family are Native American, so I have a lot of influence in that in my life. Although I'm Celtic as fuck. And so that was really the first path, and it was like through peace of mind. I showed up there when I was in my 20s, and I got a job there. I just got a job there, and that was the first thing that someone told me. Just fart with your ancestors. Hoot with your ancestors. And I knew I was Irish. I knew I was Irish and Scottish and Welsh. I've always known, because my family's got their fucking genealogy done all the way back to God knows when. So I've always known where I'm from. And so it's always been like, really, my ancestors are like the heart of because we still have our ancestral land. So I go up there and all my people are buried up there. And so they're all there. All there. So go up there and fucking get with my family to figure out what I got to figure out here. So that's always been a part. But then Shannock's kind of has educated me on what that really is. I've always been working with that energy, but I didn't really understand what I was working with until Shanna taught me how to work with that energy, and Kyla bringing in the bone magic and that aspect of ancestral work has really really broadened my path. But I've always been into the Enochian magic and the Rosicrucian stuff.
She's a scholar. She's been studying this. She's always studying.
All the symbolic magic, like the stuff from the Old Testament with King Solomon.
Solomon's
seals. All of those seals.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's an episode.
So that's always been my jam, and I've been studying
I started with
that.
the Golden Dawn.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean.
I came at it from a different way. We came at it from different. She started with it, and I ended up with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so I've always been into it, but now I'm like really getting into it. And so seals and sigils and things like that have become a very big part of what I do. So I just kind of brought that in with the ancestral stuff and what I just knew about my past. So this also started some controversy because some people are like, you can't make your own stuff for your spells. You have to make it yourself. You could totally do that, and you know what? You probably should, because it's more powerful than that. But there are companies that sell shit like this all the time, as far as like Florida water. Florida water's a blessing water that you can just buy, and just use yourself rather than making your own. So this is just like a kit to bring in prosperity. So there's powders that I made myself and blessing water that I made myself. And this crystals and herbs, and then petition paper. So when you buy one, you go here and it gives you the spell. And I just took this from shit that I've always used, because I was always into the symbols.
She's a scholar. She's always been learning and teaching.
Teacher.
And so I told her she needed to make something, and she came up with these shell spells. And they're really cool because she's made a few of them now, and some of them come with a QR code that gets you to a meditation.
It's in there.
She was making moon baths, and it's really cool to have that correlation and
just
someone
a system to teach you how to do it.
Someone who literally studies it and then gives it to you in a personal way.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we all do here, and that's what makes Spirit Works a little different. Is that just about everything here is curated with magic.
Yep.
And so, we just want to share our magic with you, and we encourage you to make your own magic. You're never going to come here and we're going to try to sell you a bunch of shit. More than likely, we're going to talk you out of buying a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
I know that's counterintuitive to business,
Right.
but I do it every day.
Now we're just going to teach you how to do your own thing.
We want you to do your own thing. And again, counterintuitive to running a retail establishment, but somehow we're still doing just fine.
Yeah.
But, we really want to encourage you. Our magic is here to lead you in, but we want you to create your own magic.
Yeah.
And we also sell the tools to make your own magic as well.
Exactly.
Kyla has been handcrafting some magic for as long as I've known her.
Yeah.
Her gifts that she gives us every year for Yule or birthday gifts, they're like
the first Yule when I made you guys those wands.
They're the most special gifts
wands
that I
are
have.
fast.
I mean,
Oh
literally,
my
I
God.
could have a whole
My
altar
wand. I love
to
my
just
fucking wand.
things that Kyla
made me
made
think
us.
about it.
So when she introduced her signature product right now, the Moon Box, I knew that there would be no way that she would get away with just selling 10 of these a month.
Yeah.
So show them the Moon Box, Kyla.
Well, first I'm going to tell them a little bit about my path.
There you go.
I found you guys through self-healing.
Yeah.
I was depressed and distraught. I had a lot of trauma in my life, and I actually started working there, because I used to buy incense. Incense was the one thing that calmed me. I knew that. And Star was she was the lady, and she was like, blah, blah, blah. And I got a job empowering goddesses. So I developed my path through what worked for me, what felt good. And then I finally, with these women kind of showing me what their path was, I got to kind of bob and weave and grow out into my own thing, which is what that's what we do. So anyway, I have learned through my stuff, like I said, I'm kind of the trauma, so I love the psychology. So astrology is really my thing. I make subscription moon boxes every month. There's an intro base level where, it's actually a little jar. There's a little intro base level where, we have it correspond with whatever the new moon sign is and the full moon sign is, or like if there's a Sabbath or whatever's going on. It's the planetary themes of that month. We make things that can help and go along with it. We also do custom boxes. That's our most popular, where we do your chart, and we do the houses, which we'll talk about again, but each new moon falls into one of your different houses, and that is the time to manifest and make a wish during that house. And I kind of lay that all out for you. I give you a long email about what it is to have Leo in the third house or whatever.
What you need to do. Yeah,
and then I have custom gifts that's towards the first house or the second or third, and then there's the standard gifts of the month.
Yeah.
It is my baby. I absolutely love it. We're not it's not just a product, it's a community. I very much believe in we have a group online, we mentor, we help. But one of my things, part of my path was making stuff. I am an earth sign. I gave them gifts at first. I was like the craft lady.
Oh
I had to
in charge of the crafts,
physically do stuff, and I still do that, but it's not so. It really was like a healing and a shedding process for me.
Do you remember the vagina, the big giant vagina?
The necklaces. Oh my god.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Oh my god.
oh my god.
Oh god.
Someday we'll have to do like just an inside joke show.
Oh, we're going to have
I think
to.
this will be part of like the upper echelon.
Yeah.
To actually see us be.
You have to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
I know, because we say all the things.
We say all the things, and we really don't want to edit out all the
really
things, but we
and
can like fucking lose our jobs and shit.
Yeah.
So,
I don't work for anybody. But
I do.
I know, but
fucking
you do.
Sucks.
I know.
I was like, lose your job.
I will lose my job.
I was like, is Shannon gonna fire you? What is happening?
I fire her once a week.
Not
What are you
how it
talking
works.
about?
Well, I guess that is how it works.
Yeah.
I guess that is how it works.
No, like we just want to be who we are authentically, and I think Kyla has really helped both of us see that in ourselves too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's our maiden. If we want to get all fucking Wicca on us, she's our maiden for sure. Yeah,
Stop.
She's our maiden, and she really breathed life into everything that we do. And we always want to give her credit because she really inspires so many people. And her craft is ever changing. S&K is usually not one of those places where you're going to see the same product over and over and over again, except a few things.
Yeah.
We have a few staples, but
we're
witches. We use what we have.
Yeah.
Like your oils here. You should talk about your oils.
The goddess rollers are amazing.
The goddess rollers are probably our second other biggest seller.
Yeah.
This is Demeter, because it's the harvest.
She's always my favorite.
Sarah loves this one.
Kali.
I was thinking of you with this one.
Good Lord,
You look
y'all.
like Demeter. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Good Lord, y'all.
Yeah, they're just, they're...
Well, I've been thinking about her as Demeter ever since I saw that Golden Girls meme.
Yeah.
I was like, Rose is Demeter? I've never fucking thought about that.
Oh, they had Rose as... I saw one with Rose was Hecate.
What?
No.
I was like, no.
Medusa, maybe?
No, she was something weird, though, and I was like, have they ever watched Golden Girls? And again, like,
Rose.
we can revel against the shitty memes out there for astrology, too.
Yes.
They all hate the Leos, apparently.
Just jealous. It's just jealousy.
Right.
All right, well, anything else we got to say?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Just, like, pick your path.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to pick one either. You know,
No.
we
You're not just a green witch just because you like plants. That doesn't mean you can't also
like crystals and fire and water. Like you can't you can be a mermaid green witch too.
I get called a green witch, a hedge witch, a bone witch, a moon witch, a star witch, and I identify with all of them.
I was gonna say I can't pick one. I'm not a cottage core witch. I don't think.
I'm just a woman in her power. That's all you gotta be. You just gotta be a woman in her power, right?
I think we should end on that one. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Fuck. Next time we're gonna talk about the Sabbath wheel. Oh my God.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you
next
time.
week.